Hey, my friends, and welcome to another beautiful day and another mini masterclass for social media marketing. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, without further ado, I want to start our training. So, this week, it's been one of the things that we're going to talk about, and today is specifically about this, is the element of successful Instagram marketing strategy. Instagram it's very easy. Honestly, it's just, we all think it's very simple. We all have to post a photo and attach some hashtag to it, and this is it. However, there is more. It's easier said than done. So that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about successful Instagram strategy. We go briefly through it. One of the important things is optimizing your business bio. This is, again, it's something very important that we're going to discuss. Then we're going to talk about developing a creative plan. We're going to talk about ways to share your content on Instagram. Obviously, there's a lot has changed. And then we're going to talk about the best practices for writing content captions for your post. So when we're writing something for your post, it's very important, which we're going to go through the best practices that it's recommended to work for Instagram. All right, first thing, Instagram has come a long way from being just a photo sharing app while ago to become one of the most important platform for small and local business owners. Doesn't matter if you're a small business or you're a startup, it has become a very, very important part of social media marketing or any online marketing strategy for businesses. But however, what we're going to find out is, this is a question I always get asked: is Instagram right for my business? So before we starting out, okay, so the quick answer, if Instagram is right for my business, it all depends on the resources. Obviously, your resources, and what I mean by resources is, I mean time, money, and staff. So one of the things is, before you're starting any Instagram marketing, or if you're already doing Instagram marketing, it's ask yourself, you have to be very clear why you're on Instagram. It's so easy to say, no, you have to be on Instagram. I'm sure there's a lot of marketers out there, and you're probably bombarded for people telling you, and influencers telling you, you have to be on Instagram. You not necessarily have to. You got to, like, it's important for your business to be on Instagram, but you have to understand and ask yourself a question as to why. What is it that I want to get, what is the important thing for my business to be on Instagram? So this is very important. You got to look at Instagram like this is what I call it. You got to look at Instagram like the digital magazine for your business. And every post you put out there, it's the page in that digital magazine you have. And it builds post by post. And every post you do, it has to go back to that bio, to that promise that you've actually promised people on their bio. I'm going to show you what I mean when I said every single one of them has to go back to the bio, the promise you give in the bio. This is what I'm going to show you this. So for example, I'm going to show you mine. I'm not saying mine is perfect, but what I do is every page of this goes back. So my bio is, I'm helping small businesses to bring in a consistent flow of clients using Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn marketing and advertising. So every page of this, if you look at this as a magazine, every page of this has everything to do with the promise that I promise, my promise, which is in my bio. So it's very, very important to actually ask yourself this question: every page in my magazine, does it talk about my promise in my bio? And you got to remember, I don't necessarily mean it's all has to be it's all business like. It's not. Even if you look at mine, there is a personality attached to it as well, and that's my personality. Your business has a personality. That's your brand. Remember, people have personalities. We talked about branding before. People has personality, businesses have brand, which is exactly the same. It's just called differently. So You need to look at it as a digital magazine for your business, and you build it page by page, which is post by post, and it has to go back to your bio. It has to represent the promise. Whatever you talk about on your bio, it has to represent. So when people land there, they go, oh, I know what this person does. I know. You go through the bio and then you go through the post. You go, oh, okay, I know what that person does, or I know what this business offer. So it's very important to be clear and ask yourself this question as to why you are on Instagram. It's very important to have a plan. All right. So one of the things we're going to talk about as to understanding as to find out why, to find out not necessarily why, to determine, I'm going to help you to determine, is that a right platform for you? Again, it is a right platform. It is an important platform for any small businesses, but we ask these questions before we go on any Instagram, because there are businesses out there who might not necessarily want to be on Instagram, and they have the right reason, because we go through it and find out, is it going to give them there are certain questions we go in and we dig in and we find out, is it actually a right platform for them? Because they might be more inclined to be on Facebook or to be on Instagram or LinkedIn, or depending on who your market is, TikTok. So you've got to be very, very specific as to why you want to be in there. So to dig in deeper for you to find out if it is the right one, the first question you got to ask is, are your customers using Instagram? This is very important. The first thing you need to know is if your ideal client actually hangs out on Instagram. Why is that you need to be in there if your customers don't hang out on Instagram? And when I say that, it doesn't necessarily mean, obviously, you don't have one specific ideal client. You might have 3 or 4 different ideal clients. So if you have one ideal client, or you might have all of them hanging out there. So if you have even one ideal client in mind, and you check and find out what to do with the age, the interest, your business, which we're going to talk about. So if you already have a client in mind and you go through it and you have a marketing plan and you go, actually, they do hang out on Instagram. So there's a tick for you to say, yep, I need to be on Instagram. Another questions we ask is, can your business be visually compelling? This is very important because Instagram is a photo sharing app, and it has come a long way, but still is very important for you to understand, is your product and services visually compelling? Then Instagram is definitely for you. I don't want you to make a mistake of saying, if you're a B2B, to go, oh, but I sell to businesses, I actually don't think I can use Instagram. You absolutely can use Instagram. One thing I want you to remember, even if you are a B2B, you're still dealing with human. Every single business in this planet, it is in the business of human to human. At the end of the day, even if you're selling to multi-billion-dollar companies, you're still dealing with humans who buy these products. So it's very important, even if you're B2B, I still want you to consider this platform. So if you look at it and go, but I don't know what to do and what to post, you can showcase your company culture, you can share industry news, you can share stats, and you can share customer reviews of your product. Even if you are a B2B, this is very, very important, and you can absolutely use it. However, it's a very visual platform, still a photo sharing platform. So you got to make sure that whatever you're posting at is visually compelling for your audience when they look at it. Another question that we get in is, are you mobile friendly? It's very important to know, since most people who are on Instagram have their phone on their hand, and it's majority, honestly, I think I can say 90% of them, they are on desktop at the moment as well, which is really good. But most people are using Instagram via their phone, via their mobile. So you've got to make sure that if you do have a landing page that they will click, if they're enticed to click that landing page or website or wherever you're sending them to, it must be mobile friendly, because you can't just send them to the place that is not mobile friendly and you're going to lose them. So you just have to, this is another important question that I've seen most of the time, that people do not consider this, that are you mobile friendly when you're sending people to the landing page? Is that can your audience view that page via their phone, and they're not going to be scrolling left and right and up and down in order for them to see all the content? Another question we ask is, do your business goals align with the goals for Instagram? This is something that it tends to be forgotten. Anything you do, this Instagram is just a tool, one of the tools that you use for your business. It has to align with the goals. Is this going to give you what you need for your business? So it's very important that to think about, does it apply? Does it align? Not apply. Does it align with your business goal? Is this going to give you, as part of your business goal, which you have a marketing goal, as part of your business strategy or business goal, does this align? The goals that you set for being on Instagram, does that align for your business? So to better understand if Instagram is the right fit for you, I want you to look at, there are some ways that you can use Instagram for your business. The best ways to use for Instagram, and in this doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C, it's very important for you to understand there are ways that you can use Instagram for your business. Brand awareness and engagement is your biggest. Even if you're a B2B, this is so important to you. Attract a new prospect, because you got to remember it takes about 11 times people seeing something to resonate. So, and we stalk. You do exactly the same thing. If you want to deal with the business, you find out who they are, what they do, you go around and check out all their social media platform. And if they're interested, they will get in touch with you. And you can use Instagram to attract new prospect. Customer loyalty and retention, this is very important when you actually use that platform to have a connection with your customers and use that platform to bring the customers back to buy more and more. Directing sales for B2C businesses. It has, because we're very visual, Instagram has helped so much on the businesses who are B2C when they sell products. This is so important. If you are selling product directly to the consumers, Instagram, my friend, is the place that you want to be. My favorite one is advertising. It is a very, very powerful platform. It's actually owned by Facebook. So, and we know Facebook ecosystem and advertising platforms are the best. The algorithm is the best, I think, to attract the clients and put your business in front of the right clients. So advertising is very important. Today, as of 17th of March, you can still advertise on Instagram, even if you do not have an account on Instagram. You can still do that. So these are the best ways that you can use Instagram for your small business, and it's very important. All right, let's go to the next section. We're going to talk about optimizing your bio. So there are two key pieces, there are two key elements to your Instagram account. The first one is creating the content, which is the hardest part for everybody in majority of businesses, small businesses. If you have resources, it might be easier. However, it's not just about posting. It's a thought process behind it. It's understanding what you're going to talk about. Remember, this is your digital magazine, and every post goes back to your bio, goes back to the business as to who you are, what you do, how you can solve their problems. So the second component of it, which is very important, is your profile, which will be the first thing people see when they click on your account. You want your the bio has to reflect what's happening in your business, obviously, and you have to be, because there's a short, unfortunately it doesn't have enough character, and it's very short. It might not give you as much space, and you might be frustrated as to why you can't put everything, but you have to come up with a clever ways of doing it. So it's very important. These are the two components of it. So we're going to talk about optimizing. I'm going to quickly go through it because it's very I am going to go through it step by step because it's very important. I won't take your time, so we go quickly. These slides will be available in the group. You can download it and watch this program again, or just go through it. One of the first thing I want you to do is you have to switch your your Instagram to the business profile. It's so important to make sure that switch to the business profile. Make sure your email address, make sure it's not connected to your personal account and it's connected to your Facebook business page. And it's very important to switch to the business profile because the Instagram Insight, you got to remember, this is Facebook amazing tool in the background. You have so much information that you can access through the Insight. You can have additional fields in your bio. You can, the ability to boost posts with advertising. You don't have to go to the Facebook page to advertise or boost the post. You can directly boost the post from your phone. And the ability to include link in Instagram stories, obviously, if you have 10,000 followers and above. And when you're advertising, every time you're advertising, you can always have the link in your post. You have that ability. But if you have, I think there's still 10,000 people followers and more, then you can 100% have a link on your post and your stories. So the first thing first, we have to switch it to the business page. Next one, you need to choose a recognizable and searchable username. This is very important for people to find you, because if they are interested in your business, someone actually refers your business, you got to make sure it's recognizable, obviously, but it's searchable like your business name. That's the simplest way of putting it. The next one, the important part, is you choose a recognizable, memorable profile photo. If you are a business, then it's definitely, I think we discussed about this. If you're a business, then definitely your profile, your logo. I recommend your logo. It all depends. If you're a public figure, obviously what your own portrait, but it needs to be recognizable and memorable across all the platforms that people hang out. So just make sure it's it's your logo. Instagram already automatically crops it to the circle, but when someone is doing your logo, make sure that it is compatible with the size that they need, because you don't want it to be blurry. You want it to have a best quality. Next one, optimizing your bio. You only have maximum 150 characters, and it is a bit frustrating when it comes to it, but because you don't have a lot of space. But use that as best as you can for your advantage. You can tag business or your business name. You can actually tag and use hashtag in your bio. You can 100% do that. One thing I wanted to tell you is, what was I going to say? I forgot. I got distracted. So definitely you can use hashtag. Oh, this is what I was going to say. When you're using hashtag, please don't go crazy with hashtag. I've landed on some businesses' bios that is just hashtags after hashtags. I'm going to tell you, I'm not interested in that business, and I've got enough experience with advertising and understanding how it works. When people land in on your platform and you're just keyword after keyword and after keyword, you don't look like someone that you're going to help me. All you there is just up keyword after keyword. I personally do not recommend it, because we'll have this lack of trust, and we don't want that. We buy from people who we like and trust. And if you come across as best as you can, if you come across as someone that you are providing value to me, then it's fine. But just make sure you don't go crazy with hashtags and tagging people, unless if you have two businesses that they complement each other. There's definitely, or you have a partner business, this is definitely, but don't go crazy with hashtag. But make sure you optimize it. You only have, obviously the call to action is very, very important. You should have a compelling call to action. So this is, there has to be one particular call to action, or I have used it for the clients when we have a promotion coming up. Let's say you have a special coming up. Let's say you maybe seasonal specials you have, or coming to Black Friday or Cyber Monday, or you're just running a special, you're having a launch, you're launching a new product. That always have to represent what's happening there and then. This is exactly when I was talking to you about Facebook cover photo. There has to, or the call to action on Facebook, it cannot be static. It has to be representing on what's happening in your business right now. So if you have a launch coming up, if you have a special coming up, then that link that we do specifically for what is happening. And we 100% change, obviously we change the bio to represent what is happening and the special we have. However, normally we just tend to have it to go to the landing page. You got to make sure, again, when it's going to the landing page, is a mobile friendly. There is a platform. I'm going to show you mine. You're only getting one link, by the way. You only get one link to use, which so you just have to make sure that you use this as best as you can. There is a call to action. There is a platform called Linktree, and you can use that. It's free. You don't have to use the pay one. I'm using the free, and it just lands in there. And I think you can add about, I think 5 or 6 rows that you can use. I'm going to show you mine. So if you go in there, I've got the link for the Linktree in here. So when you print that, it's just Linktree. I'm going to show you what it is. So you can just click on there, and you can use your website as well if you don't want to pay and you just want people to go and land on your website. You can absolutely do that as well. Make sure it is a mobile friendly, and make sure it's easy to use. People can easily use it, because we just becoming very precious, so we don't want to get frustrated. We don't want to use our fingers too much, so just make sure that wherever they're landing, it's simple to use and it's mobile friendly. So I'm going to show you the link tree that I'm using. So if you go to mine, so down here, it is free. I'm using the free one. That's why it's got the link tree on there. And it opens it up. Obviously, I'm using desktop. And it opens it up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have 6 entries in there that they can actually access. So you can absolutely use that. There is a link. There is a link on the slides that you can print out and show you. Actually, I'll tell you what it is. I think it's Linktree. Let me tell you. Linktree. So it is Linktree, but it's actually linktr.ee. So that's the Linktree. As I said, you can use the free one. It works fine. All right. So again, your call to action. This is very important. You got to make sure that you do have a call to action in place, and you will send people somewhere that you want them to go. So, okay, so now we talked about the bio. This is very important. So let's say you worked at the bio, you're happy with the bio. We do have our link. Everything is all good. So now we have to create the content. So developing and creating a plan. As a small business owner, you can create engaging content to help people keep your business in mind. You got to start with a plan to work out what to post and how your content can stand out. We go through the 3 steps. There's actually very simple steps. Again, you're probably thinking you and your goal. It's very important for us to have a goal. Everything you do in your business to do with marketing, doesn't matter if it's LinkedIn or doesn't matter if Instagram, whatever it is, you must have a plan before you go in. So the first thing we do is have a clear goal. Goals help you stay focused, obviously, on what you hope to accomplish with your marketing effort. You need to establish a smart marketing goals. I'm going to do a training to do with smart marketing goals that we have to do. So you must have a clear plan. Step 2, we're going to establish a look and voice. This is so important. In order for you to build a consistent flow of content, and when they land, remember we talked about this, when they land on your page, on your profile on Instagram, your business profile on Instagram, it has to establish a look and voice, and you need to think about this. When you land on mine, I've got the look is exactly the same. I haven't changed it. I played with some of the colors, but the look it's always the same. It's my pink color, it's bright colors. There are certain colors that I like. So I've try to stay as much as possible to do with social media, and that's what I do. And the colors always represent the colors that it is my business colors, my brand colors. So you just have to make sure you establish a look and voice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine is, it doesn't go through, because I don't know, it's not that important for you to go, but this person said they can do this and this person said they can do that. As long as every post you do goes back to your promise, talks about your business and talks about you, and the look and voice are sort of similar, being colors and everything, that's okay, because that will create the personality of your brand, which is your brand for your business. Step 3, creating posting schedule. This is so important. One of the most important thing in social media is being consistent. You can't just post one time and don't post again. I've seen it so often, the people, even with some of the clients, that they just don't post, and you just cannot get anything out of social media. If you want to be in front of people, you need to be continuously and consistently posting. Obviously not rubbish. we don't want to post stuff that is not relevant. We don't want to randomly post stuff. We just want to make sure that we do have a plan, but you have to be consistent, my friend. You need to think about this. So that's planning part. Okay. All right, so we talked about that. Now we're going to talk about ways to share your content on Instagram. There are different ways you can share it. We have come a long way from just posting on the feed. And if you're like most of the small business owners, you're probably only posting on the feed because you're more comfortable, and maybe you're dabbling in or getting your feet wet using stories. So I'm going to go through some of the ways that you can share your content, and I would 100% recommend that for you to use either of those, not necessarily just one. I want you to look into them and use them for your business. I don't want you to stress out, but it's very important because your customers look at different part of the Instagram. Most of us definitely go through stories more, and then we go through the feed. There are lives that we're going to talk about it quickly in a second. IGTV is another one that I would 100% like you to start using. And we go through the reel, because reel is something new. And it's slowly becoming very important. Obviously, reel is a take on TikTok. And if there's something good out there that Facebook loves, then guess what? They're going to copy it, and they're going to make sure that you can use it too. So I'm excited. These giants go head to head, and guess what? We are going to get another tool that we can use for our business. All right, so go back. Okay, so we're going to go through. There's obviously some ways. So stories is another way that you can communicate. Feed. Most of us know feed because we used to feed. Live videos, IGTV, this is very important, and I would like you to start using it. Reel is another one, which is obviously the short videos. All right, first thing first, stories. You can use stories to create short, in-the-moment content that shares any authentic side to you, your team, and your business. We know it's actually this year, I think I was reading an article about it, that most of people go through the stories. So stories is very important. If you do not do stories, I want you to start using stories. And as I said, use stories like the content that you just share your authentic you. What is happening then? Again, have a plan, make sure, but use that to communicate with them. Use that to what's happening. Even the short stint of behind the scene, or if you are putting a product together, you're delivering, use that to connect with your clients, with your audience. And it's very, very important. Can take obviously up to 15-second long. Try to keep it short, but you can have more and more different clips if you want to, but don't go crazy that they get bored, because just keep it short and sweet. And just honestly though, I'm just saying keep it short and sweet, but see what works for your clients. The short and sweet always works. But again, the rule is we need to test and try it for your business. So I want you to keep it short and sweet, but try it out and see what works. And it depends what you want to talk about. It's very important of the context of what you're going to talk about and communicate with your fans. So that's very important. Stories is one of the important ones that I would like you to go. Definitely tap into and talk to your audience. This is very important. Next one, obviously, feed. Use feed to post, feed posts to represent your brand. Since this Instagram grid acts as an extension of your business, share posts that enables visitors to discover your products or service and establish a connection with your business. So just make sure that in the grid, when they land on the grid, every post, it's a page of your digital magazine. So it represents your business and it communicates and it goes back to the promise you made in your bio. So next one is live. Go live to connect with your audience. If you have something happening, again, behind the scene is very important. From my experience, it worked really, really well for the behind the scene. If you have a product and you launch the product, you can do a Q&A, live Q&A with your audience. It's very important. And it needs to be authentically you. Why we keep going back to being authentic. I do mean authentic. I mean that to be yourself. And if you have your team, just be yourself. Let us get to know the human behind it, because we want to get to know the human behind the business. So live is another one. It's very important. I know there's a lot of people get nervous, but you don't have to do it if you don't feel comfortable, but I would like you to try it. And you don't have to, with the live though, you don't have to be in the camera. It could be just your voice and you're filming something, what's happening. But just don't be afraid. Go for it. My favorite one is IGTV. This is so important. You can showcase your products, DIYs, or tutorial. IGTV is the Instagram way of disrupting traditional TV experience. It's so important. I want you to look into it. I want you to start using it. Use it for, if you can do DIY, you showcase your product, use it. It's very important. We tend to get into looking at the IGTVs as well. Remember, IGTV actually have its own separate app. So just make sure you use it for your business to, like I said, to use it to again, I'll keep saying to showcase your products. If there is a DIY or if it's a tutorial, 100% use that. Next one, my friend, is the Reel. Reel just came out, I think August last year. Reel that came out, and again, it's an answer to the TikTok. They realized TikTok is doing really well, so they thought, hey, we can come up with something new. So there is a short video, obviously, but it is the reach apps. So at the moment, the reach is still high. So if you want to attract new clients, Reel is what I would recommend for you to do it. Short videos, again, you don't necessarily have to use the music. Some of us have music, like I don't have music in my Reel at the moment, but I've got music if I do story. So it's just one of those things. That's how Instagram and Facebook do it. So just make sure you use it. Just try it out and test it. Don't be afraid. You can, again, do a quick behind the scene, educational content, product showcase, and in the life of, like, what happens if you're a photographer, what happens when you start your process of photographing. If you're creating flowers, if you're doing your coaching, whatever you do is actually important. So Reel is very important, and I would like you to get in there and try it out and see what happens. So the next one we're going to talk about is the captions, or what we write. I'm going to talk about the best practices that we recommend for you to use when you're creating captions for your post. Obviously, you're using your pictures and whatever you're using is visually compelling. The colors are matching your brand. So now it comes to what we're going to talk about. So one of the best practices to create an engaging caption is to tell a story. We talk about story. We love story. You and I would love to get into what's happening, getting involved in the story. So use caption to tell the story of your business, such as how it was founded, how your product or services were developed. You can even create a story arc with the beginning, middle, and end. This is absolutely, you can do it. It's like creating series. You can absolutely do that. Just be creative. Don't think you have to follow what this person does. You have to follow that person does, because mine represent my business. Someone else represent their business. So use that for yourself. Make it your own. There is, I keep repeating that, is that, and there is a lot of marketers out there who don't like it. There is no rule. Create what resonates with your client, create what resonates with you, and that's the most important part. So first thing first, tell a story. Another one, ask questions. Use that to generate interaction with your clients, with your audience. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So what, they don't answer it? That's okay. Maybe it wasn't the right questions, but use that to create an engagement with your audience. The next one is keep it short if you can. I've got a problem with keeping, even when I do a video, I just write. My text is long, and this is who I am. I know we talk about rules, and I need to let you know what we suggest for you to do, what I suggest for you to do. But if you can, if it is possible for you, then keep it short. Remembering that there's only the first 125 characters people can see before they press the more button. So that first 125 characters is very, very important. It might go more eventually, I don't know, depending on how much they expand, but 125 characters, it's very important. So just make sure, if you can, keep it short. But if you can't, and you're like me, that's who I am, that's my brand, and when I do it, I want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on and exactly what points and all the nooks and crannies. So I want to explain that to people. That's why I find it hard to keep it short. There are some times that I do make sure I keep it short if I want to have the punch and you want to create an engagement, and I want people to it's when it's a thought-provoking, that's what I definitely do. Next one is maintain a consistent tone. So if you are using, when I say maintain a consistent tone, is if your brand is it's very casual, then like in mine, I use emojis as well. So if that's the case for me, that's the tone of how I talk. I use emojis to show how I feel and what I talk about and what I do. So if that's the tone we talk about, just to make sure that it reflects your brand. If it's a serious brand, don't use it. But if it's not a serious brand and you're happy to use emojis, use that. If you use humor in your post, use that. It's just making sure that I know who you are and I can resonate with you, because that's the important part for your audience and you, because you need to get to know each other better. Number 5, encourage the followers to take action. This is so important, to make sure that be letting them know what you want them to do. One of the things that it doesn't matter if it's your website, it doesn't matter if it's your Facebook page, it doesn't matter if it's your TikTok, wherever you are, you have to, when they land, wherever they land, they have to know who you're about, what you do, what are you about, what do you sell them, and how they can contact with you, how they can get in touch with you, how they can buy that product. So please keep it simple. Just make sure your call to action is there. And don't be afraid to allow a call to action in your captions. It really doesn't matter that you don't have to, you're not coming across as salesy. If you are selling a product, if you do have a special coming up, let them know, ask them. You can say, for example, in this one that I've took from my app, it says tap the link in the bio to shop this outfit. So if I like it, I like to know how I can get there. Keep it simple. It's not about being salesy. It's all about making sure we're keeping it simple so they know what to do next. Remember, it's all about them. It's not about you and I. It's all about them. All right, my friends, so that's it. That's our little education session we have to talk about how we can the elements of successful Instagram strategy. It's very important for us to remember that we have to have goals. If you need any extra help, please do not hesitate to get in contact with me. Happy to have a chat. So these are the elements of successful Instagram marketing. Let's see if is anyone here with us so we can go to the Q&A. Let's see who's here. I don't have anyone. All right, my friend, hopefully you found this training helpful for you. You got to remember, when you're creating a plan, you just have to make sure what you want this to do for you. Make sure you have a KPI. Make sure you have somewhere that you can measure. Is this going to be someone clicking the button? Is this going to be starting a conversation with you? Just make sure you have KPIs and make sure you have a plan. Don't just randomly start being on Instagram, start being on Facebook, start being Clubhouse is a new thing now. So just make sure you have a plan before you start doing anything. All right, my friend, thank you for your time. I'm grateful for you to be here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon again. Bye for now.